really, really great that you're here because we want our students to build a career based on being influenced by all different styles and genres of music, by all different types of people from all over the world, and not be so narrowly focused on a particular music. So when I was thinking about our time together for this hour, first of all, I thought about when you were born, and which is pretty cool. You were born at a time when swing music was still popular. That was the popular music of the day. Mm-hmm. And soon after that, rhythm and blues started to become the popular music. And swing music coming more from a jazz sort of influence, swing music then eventually became more rhythm and blues, and jazz became bebop and got away. So I have a couple questions. And then those of you that have taken the time to write down questions for Bernard as well, I'll collect those in a little bit. Can you describe to us the music that was on the radio when you were born up until maybe 10, 11 years old? What was on the radio, and what was that music like?
Floyd Kramer. Does anybody know who Floyd Kramer is? Got 1, 2, 3, 4. The most and the #1 piano player in the world. Country music. Country. 40s, 50s, 60s. Yes, there was jazz, there was swing, there was big band. But the #1 music in the world was country music. Put nothing and think of nothing else at the moment except country is still the #1 music in the world. Money making. Hard to believe, isn't it? That's 70 plus years ago. It has evolved, and it's still evolving. But the one thing that hasn't changed, melody. You're going to hear a lot of that being said all this week. Melody. I have absolutely nothing against hip hop, slip hop, mom hop, whatever you want to call it, because I actually made money because of it. So I got nothing really bad to say about it. The point is, where is the melody? And how long will it last? So you want to be in this business? Learn melodies. Write melodies. Be able to sing melodies. Scat melodies. I don't care any direction that you want. But when the people walk out the door, what are they going to remember if you do not have a melody? A melody. This week, you can have all the melodies that you want. You can have all the rhythms that you want, because I brought them with me. So that means you can take me home with you, and you can learn how things work themselves. It makes that much of a difference. See, I've never forgot what brought me here in the first place. It was melodies. I was on the cup. Didn't know that all the big bands didn't necessarily want vocalists. Singers had to sing melodies. And that made my job so much easier. Because I had to hear, that's what I needed to hear. Because I was playing country. By the time I was 7, 8, 9, I was playing big band. Melodies. Because all the big bands had one singer. Only one. And they would tell the singer, sit. Okay, come up. Do one song. Up, go back and sit. They loved it. The big bands loved being able to tell the singer to go sit. By the 60s, every big band leader had more than one singer in the band. Simply because they needed to work, because the public, if you didn't dance, you needed to hear something that's going to make you move. Singers make folks move. It's the hardest thing in the world to understand. That is reality. You need singers for that simple, simple melody. Now we all like all the different ones. Saxophone, oh, it's sweet, it's wonderful. But how often do the saxophone, all the trumpets, all the flutes, any big band play all of the melody? Because you got to counter rhythm, you got to counter melody, you got to counter everything. But that vocal warmth, remember that. It's the warmth of that voice that sells. Shall we continue?
So, jump a few years later, your teenage years. And so, by 15, 16, you were playing professionally. Does that sound right?
Actually,
Sooner?
I was 10.
You were 10. But, so I'm interested in what was popular music when you were a kid. So, the time when you were born until around 10, 11, and was there a change in what you were hearing on the radio during your teenage years, going into adulthood? And can you describe that change?
Sure. Part of it is what I just said. The other part is that being young, you want to get faster. You want everything else to move. Now, because I happen to be one of the exceptions, and I know that, and I understand that. It's just my good looks, you know. By the time I was 8, 9, and 10, I was actually playing with the big band. But I've been playing drums since I was 3. By the time I was by 8, 9, and 10, my teacher said that I had to learn another instrument. I thought he was crazy. I was the best drummer that he had in the band. I could take his place, finish the gig and everything else. Why would you want me to do another instrument? And I said, and I'm not good at it. He said, but you need to try. I said, I didn't want to. He said, well, then you can't be in the band. I said, I changed my mind. So I grabbed the trumpet. Year and a half go by. Now, I'm still the best drummer. And all of the students and everything he had. And then he finally told me, he said, "You're right, Bob. You can't play the trumpet." Flute. He stuck me on flute for a year, year and a half. I'm still playing the drums. I didn't understand what he was trying to do. But I did it because the teacher said to do it. Now that was the smart part of me. The dumb part, well, I thought it was another reason. I thought he was trying to kick me to the side because I took a liking to the girls. I could play. I looked good. I would finish the job out during the course of the evening, break down the drums, and drive him home. I just thought he was jealous. I'm not going to tell you the reason, because that part is in here. Oh yeah. There's a lot to what is necessary. But the change of the guard for me was country music was the thing that I loved because I was hearing it each and every day, and you name it. My playing ability worked like a charm. I could do anything and everything. What I didn't understand was what my teacher had done. Because to go up and now play the trumpet, man, okay, all right, I'll read the notes, I'll play it, But it didn't stick out and stand out like everything else. What I didn't understand is that I was reading music. I was actually reading, interpreting the music. Then I brought myself up to the point where by the time the 60s was in, I was good. I was good because funk. It was called R&B at that time. R&B came into the picture. You got all of these groups, the Coasters, the Drifters, the Hoodoo, everything you could possibly think of was out. But the one thing that stood out, and why? Melodies. Everybody could sing and walk out that door singing the song. Today, we're in trouble. We are in trouble. We need to go back to that part of melodies. Rhythms, you can't take other people's rhythms, the music, without paying them. So what you have to do is work with them. You learn to work. Learn to work with the rappers. Get them to understand it's okay to take my music or your music and put that nice rhythm to it. But give a little bit more. Try. If nothing else, okay, you make it rhyme. But influence the younger people. Don't go too extreme. Because today, hate is out there. The privileges of what you need to do, what you need to say, represents who you are and what you're going to be. hate is not a word to take lightly. So work with the books, get the rhythm, but also get the melody. Because the melody will linger on. Now, I know that everybody in here, you in here to get, as we call it, jazz. Jazz comes from melodies. Bebop came from that way, but another way, Dizzy Gillespie. He did that, and he brought it around. I worked for him for 3 or 4 years to incorporate everything that happened. Count Basie, Duke Ellington. There's a guy named, what they call him, Pops. Anybody know who that name, Pops? I can't hear you. No.
That's Louis Armstrong.
Louis Armstrong. I got the opportunity to play with him. Now, what's his biggest record? Come on now.
Hello, Dolly.
Say that again?
Hello, Dolly.
No, Hello Dolly was from the Broadway show.
Sleepy Time Down South?
Hmm?
Is Sleepy Time Down South?
Mm-mm. It also came right after the Broadway show.
West End Blues?
Come on now. Now, come on. What is the #1 song that was in the world for so many years? Yeah. What a wonderful world. Right here. I'm the drummer on that. As I was on Hello Dolly. Yes. Everything has moved around. So for me, the questions that he's asking, I like that. Because I'm sure that he's been getting some questions from the students. And folks, you got to be grounded. You got to understand. You don't know what is the next thing is going to be. So understanding, but reading, which is interpreting the music, is what you have to do to become big time, to make money. And please don't forget, rap folks, they're making money. They're making money. But it isn't necessarily money that others can make with it. So it's a limitation. A limitation. So don't ever limit yourself to one thing. Ever limit yourself to one kind of music. Because it changes. It might take 3 years, it might take 10 years, but it does change. And you have to learn to change with it. And it's up to you to make it work. Now, I can go on and on and on and on and on and on and on, but yeah, we'll get to your questions, and we're going to get to everything during the course of this week. There's absolutely nothing that we can't talk about. Simply because I know the answers. I've lived it. So it works for me. And I have fun doing what I do. Now, I know that I'm going to have the opportunity to drum for the big band, 14-piece orchestra. Made all the difference in the world. So, I was quick to learn. but it also meant that, who's got the paper? Yeah. Read it, write it, do it. And it does work. Yes, sir.
Would you like some of these?
Hmm? No, man, you go ahead. I got to put my glasses on. Don't bring me glasses.
Right. I'll read the question. Here's a question. So rap is starting to incorporate more melodies. Have you heard some of these transitions? Have you heard any of the music in recent times that where you hear rap music incorporating melodies?
Wow. Well, the rap music has taken what most people want to call the melody. Basically, they took the rhythms of these songs. It just so happened so much of the R&B and as we call funk and soul and stuff like that, they took the rhythms of these songs because that's what the people remember and use that underneath of their rhyme rhythms or whatever they want to talk about. But they still had that undercurrent of that R&B flavor underneath to support what they were saying. That ain't gonna change. That's not gonna change. How many songs out there has James Brown's rhythm? And best example. At one time, 98% of all the rap songs came from James Brown. They broke it down. The guys, believe me, the music world broke this down so much. The people who actually made the money from it was his estate, not him, because they were using everything that he had for 30 years. And fortunate for me, was about half of what he had, I was the drummer. So that's how I end up, yes, getting, understanding, and making a few dollars. Until they came up to 1967. My album, Soul Drums, was put together by one of the rappers. They paid me, and I was like, wow, you mean I'm actually, I'll make this money, you know, for the, what I didn't know is that I was too quick to accept the money, and I accepted it right away. 6 months to a year later, 6 million copies were sold. Which brings me to the next step. Business. And before this week is out, you're going to get tired of hearing me saying, business. Learn the business. But you must learn your craft first before you can even think about being in the business. Because they go together. And I'm so serious. It's the worst thing in the world. You spend 10 years working at your instrument. You spend another 10 years learning your craft. And then you get another 10 years to make some money. Now, basically, that puts everybody in the 30 to 40-year-old category. What happens after that? We scratch our heads. And we try to get somebody to call us. Or we have to go get what, I hate using the word, but it's true, a day gig. They don't call music a gig, or making a living gig. Wrong. Wrong. You can make money, earn a living, your family and everything else. You can travel around the world when most people can't with their day gig. With their day gig. This is my gig. And I have fun doing it. I enjoy doing it. And I earn a living doing it. I still have to pay Uncle Sam, the one that I can't get away from. Because at the age of 65 don't mean a thing to him. It just means, okay, a little less money. They'll give you back some of your money. But what the devil are you going to live on? Because eventually you go up to a certain you're trying to get over the hump, and Uncle Sam will be, that's mine. And just stay right there, and anything over top of that, I'll take care of it for you. That is the one thing that you can do for yourself. Learn your craft, travel, get all this other stuff in, and then have fun. Have fun after you've learned your craft. Do it when you need it, when it's necessary. Enjoy yourself. Because when you learn your craft, nobody can take that from you. And don't let this one word I'm going to say interfere. And it's called ego. Ladies and gentlemen, ego is something that we need. We need. Because it can be, and it will be, if you do it my way, the smartest thing in the world that you can do and can have. Positive attitude. I can still run around the world and have a good time with a positive attitude. Ego? Nobody's ego is bigger than mine. Scott's either. I respect him. I admire him, and I mean that bottom of my heart. Trust him. He got an ego also, or he wouldn't have that job. Because he knows what he's got to do. And he's got to give it to you. And I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to shove it all over you. That's my job. I enjoy my job. Ego? Oh, none of you have got a bigger ego than me. You might think you have, but I'll look good with mine. I have fun. I enjoy. Okay.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make all of these questions available to Bernard so that he can attempt to address them throughout the master classes this week. Tomorrow we have, we're not done yet, but tomorrow we have at 10 o'clock and at 12 o'clock. We have rhythm section master classes, and especially for rhythm section players to be on the stage, but doesn't mean that if you're a horn player or you're not a rhythm section player that you shouldn't be here. Because I'm going to ask him to try to address some of the things, concerns that you all have from the notes that I have here as well. But there was one question in here that maybe you could touch on now. It has to do with how can non-rhythm section players, so instrumentalists who do not play as a rhythm section member, work on groove and feel and pocket. So I'm a trumpet player. He plays a bunch of instruments, but he's a trombone player.
Okay.
How do the non-rhythm section players, work towards getting a better feel, groove, pocket?
Attitude. One of the best things that can possibly happen is take control of what you want, what you need. Write it out. Write song. Put in a rhythm, write it, and make sure you have a melody of some kind. Stay away from the rhythm. Because the point is, it's okay. But make sure that the rhythm section has something that they can bind in to what's happening. And put that melody on top of that rhythm. And this way, you're not in the way. You're now supporting everything that you need, what needs to be done. So let nobody fool you. Nobody tell you that what you want to write. Don't worry about it. If it happens to be one chord, it's one chord. But make it interesting. Make it so the rhythm has to do something in that, and then put this other part on top. Make sure that it's interesting for everybody to have a way of sticking in and settling in. If you are not, what do we call rhythm? Guitar, bass, drums, piano. But look at it. Piano players, all piano players, have to learn percussion. Because that's their instrument, a percussive instrument. So their rhythm section, they got to play everything. Everybody. You name it, they have to play it. But when you jot down something on top of it, that melody will stand out when it has to. So that means you got to put it on top of what the rhythm is. Don't try to weave in and out. Put it on top so it's noticeable. And before you know it, the rhythm player, the guitar player, the piano player, the bass player, if they like a line, they're going to join you. Tell the drummers to shut up. Play time first until you get one like me who play around, I can play around everybody's melody. I'm that good. See what I mean? This is the attitude. Attitude. So make sure that you have a positive attitude when you go to do your job. Now see, for me, when I was making all these hit records, half of them were demos. And how I got in and how I got to where I am today, I'll sneak over, look at the piano chart, sing the phrase, ooh, yeah, oh, that's nice, da 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 da, boom. Oh, yes, that opposite figure that the piano player had written as part of the melody. And, you know, we go there, we do. They never gave the drummer a chance to make mistakes. Just keep time. Just keep time. Oh, yes, sir. And I'd sit and I'd play. Chang, 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 do, chang, chang, do, chang. And they stop and look at me. Where did that come from? All because I took a little bit of my attitude, walked over to the piano, saw the rhythm that was there, and figured that, oh, maybe this might work. I didn't tell them that I was that smart. You never tell them you're smart. You just got to let them understand that they need you. Let them want to need you. And I'm also going to tell you this, you're only going to hear it once. Guys, I loves the ladies. I'm crazy about the ladies. And if you got any of them that are drummers, that's even more in with me. Because they are serious. And they will show you up in a minute. And they're going to let you know that I'm here. Their presence. They take the time to learn their craft, especially around me. I favor them. I don't mind telling you. I favor the ladies because they work hard at it. And they're serious at it. Okay, so they might not hit as hard as you. So what? But I guarantee you they're going to be grooving a lot faster than you. They're going to feel good about what they're doing because they're going to be in the pocket. That is the attitude that I'm looking for. That's that positive attitude. So I'm just telling you ahead of time. Don't let the ladies' legs fool you. And the arms, they pretty and all this, but they can play. And all of my lady drummers thank me. Because I thank them for jumping into the pot. Yes, that's why I cater to them. I'll give them the extra time if that's what they need. They got it. But I believe, to me, that's equal. That's equal to everybody saying no. Well, she doesn't hit so hard, you know. Watch out. You'll lose your job quick. They can play, and they're pretty. Two things that's going to mess you up. So don't ever underestimate the ladies. And I don't care what instrument that they're playing. Don't underestimate the ladies. Okay?
I just want to tell you that their rehearsal scheduled this week as well, and they're all in this room unless they've changed, but according to our schedule, everything is in this concert hall. The master classes and the big band rehearsals is this evening, and we're going to have 2 drum sets set up for all these master classes. So definitely there's going to be a lot of opportunity for drummers to be able to be next to Bernard in some of these situations. But do come to these rehearsals, and do come to the performances that begin on Thursday night. The performances are Thursday through Sunday at the Jazz Showcase. If you haven't been to the Jazz Showcase yet, this is a really good opportunity to get used to spending time there. We play on, let me see, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night. The Columbia College Jazz Ensemble and the Fusion Ensemble will be performing. We do 8 o'clock and 10 o'clock sets. And then on Thursday, We do a 4 o'clock set with Chicago Vox in the jazz ensemble, and then we do an 8 o'clock set Sunday night, just with the jazz ensemble. So there's a lot of music that we've been preparing to work on with Bernard, and it's all going to start this evening. So please look at those schedules that have been posted and been sent around to you, and I'll make sure that Bernard gets these questions as well. So thank you, Bernard.
All right. That's good.